All right, Doug Smith, Papa Plap. We are back, the RGA Weekly Webinar. Good afternoon or good morning, sir. It's actually morning.
Good morning, Cha-ching Bay.
All right, I'm back in my car. I just finished up a meeting with one of our employees. So I know you love me when I'm in my car. There's the warning label.
Yeah,
so
there's the warning label
on
your do flatsy.
Okay, today's topic I think happens to a lot of people, and it's probably one of the most frustrating things in sales. You've prospected, you've met with someone, you've presented. What you sell seems to be a perfect fit. They seemed hot under the collar. They were ready to go. And then they disappear and you don't hear from them. And you try to follow up and they don't respond. And you sit there and go, what happened? I was already cashing my commission check and now I can't even get a hold of them. I'm sure at some point over the years that's happened to you. And I'm also sure you have some really good advice on how to respond to it or how to prevent it from happening in the first place. So what do you do?
Well, the first thing is you want to, like I said before, and I've said this in with a lot of my clients, is go back and look at what you did, okay, and analyze what happened with the whole situation. In other words, go through your presentation in your mind. What happened, okay? Write down all the good things that happened. Write down the things that you needed to improve on. But the one thing that probably happens while a person is ghosting is you probably didn't have a prospect. You may have had a suspect. And so you need to make sure that when you're in front of somebody, that person is actually a prospect. And like I said before, there's 5 points of the sales process. One is I got to need what you're selling. 2, okay, I got to want to solve that need. 3, okay, I got to be able to afford what you're selling. And then 4th, okay, is when am I going to do it? And from 5 is when, is from whom. The thing is, the third one's a kicker. And that is a lot of times people, you go get in front of them and they're really not a prospect because they really can't afford what you're selling or they don't think they can. And so consequently, that's an objection that you aren't really sitting in front of a prospect, and the key is, okay, is that maybe you caught them at a time when they don't have the money or they don't have or maybe they aren't willing to put the deal together. Probably one of the best examples, I had a guy it's been about 7 or 8 years ago. Okay. And I was doing some coaching and I'm sitting there in front of him. Okay. Pitched him the whole 9 yards and nothing happened. I called him a couple of days later, nothing happened. All of a sudden, about 4 months later, he calls me back. And he says, I now have the money. I can afford it. Okay, let's go. And apparently, okay, when I sat down with the guy, I didn't really look at how much money he had. Okay. And so, you'd be surprised that sometimes when you pitch somebody, it may not go for naught. It may be the fact that he's not ready to do anything yet. And so he knows why you're calling him back. And so if he's not calling you, if he's not answering the phone, it's because, hey, he's scared to death to talk to you because he may make a decision he don't want to make or whatever. So you just, sit back, maybe wait a month or two, okay, and then recontact him in a couple of months. You may find things are different.
And then as salespeople, we panic. I think that's the best way to say it. And now it's every couple of days, it's the email of, hey, do you have any questions? Can I help you? Which is basically you saying, hey, where's my money type of thing. So don't panic. That's one of the biggest things you're saying.
Well, the worst thing you can do is continue to contact them. If they ghost you, maybe you call them by phone and they don't answer, or maybe you send them an email or a text and he doesn't answer. A lot of times if you call them by phone, it's because I had one guy, for instance, that called him on the phone and his voicemail's full. Well, apparently he never got the phone call. But so he maybe try 2 different avenues. Don't try the same avenue twice. Try a different avenue, maybe an email or maybe a text or whatever. And if he doesn't respond, don't continue to push it. Because all of a sudden now you're an aggressive salesman. And then when you call him again the 3rd or 4th time, he's now pissed off and he ain't ever going to buy from you because now you're just every typical salesman down the road. Just ghost him, okay? And if he doesn't respond right away, then just simply maybe in 2 to 3 weeks, okay, or a month, you contact him back, say, hey, by the way, just following up with our presentation and seeing if there's anything I can help you with, okay? And, go very nonchalant. What I've done many times is in prospects, okay, if they've ghosted me, is that I'm usually in front of a prospect that somehow I'm interacting with that person in another situation, another networking group or chamber or something like that. So I'm actually interacting with them in some other way. And so all of a sudden I show up into the networking event that they're at. Okay. All of a sudden, guess what? Now they're in front of me. And it's amazing. Okay. They'll come up to me and say, hey, by the way, the reason why I didn't call you back was blank, 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 blank. And I'll be ready to go. And, I had one, matter of fact, I got one right now. The guy ghosted me for about a month. I just contacted him on Monday and he called me. He says, I wasn't ready to go then. Okay. I'll be ready to go in September. Give me a call in September. We're in. I said, okay, fine. Let it go at that. But the worst thing you can do is come on like an aggressive salesman, because at that point you're doing exactly what you're not supposed to be doing. My program's called Sales Without Selling, which we create sales without selling. And the way to do that is not be pushy, the typical aggressive salesperson. And the minute you hit the panic button, you become that.
There was one thing I did recently, which falls right in the line of the networking side, is there's someone that I've been looking to get in front of, and I know of an issue that they had, and this would be a big prospect here in the Cincinnati area, and I knew they were having an issue, and I reached out to say, hey, by the way, I know someone who solved that same issue you have. It's a big restaurant chain that's based out of Kentucky. So would it help you if I was able to connect you with so-and-so to give you some additional advice? And they go, well, yeah, that would be great. Well, guess what? I made the connection. That person has helped the other person. Guess who I get pretty consistent emails from now? The person who was ghosting me because I helped them solve a major issue. Now they see me as someone I'm not trying to sell. Now, at some point, I'm hoping to be able to get them on board, but it's the idea that I reached back out, not with my hand out saying, gimme, gimme. I said, hey, I can help you solve something. Boy, it's now all of a sudden that communication stream is open.
What you've really done there is open up the line for know, like, and trust.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so once they get to the point where they start to trust you a lot, they're probably going to come to you and say, hey, by the way, we have another issue I think you guys could solve.
Right.
And they're going to come to you because now all of a sudden you're not perceived as the pushy salesperson. You're perceived as a problem solver. And most salespeople, what you want to be perceived as a problem solver. And one of the key things I always tell people, this is where the value of referrals comes in, and the value of going and giving referrals. So I'll give you an example. Say I'm using an example for one of my clients, Junk King. Okay. So maybe Junk King, okay, a great referral for them if I go by somebody's store or business and I see a lot of stuff piled up outside. Well, pretty good chance the person who owns that business knows he's got a bunch of stuff piled up outside. So if I walk inside, okay, and I'm talking to the guy, say, by the way, I've got a person out there that I think can solve your problem with all the things you've got sitting outside there. And he's going, oh my God, who's that? And I give him a name, and all of a sudden it happens. He has Junk King come over and take the stuff away from them. Okay, and now it's cleaned up. Guess what? I'm a hero. Now all of a sudden I'm looked at as a person that I'm someone that's trying to help him in his business, not just necessarily trying to sell something to him.
Yep.
And I tell you, that's one of the things, the value, what I call value of referral marketing, is because sometimes the value of the referral marketing is actually giving a referral to help somebody else solve their problem rather than you getting a referral to solve your problem. Because guess what? If you give that referral because you've helped somebody else, both people, the guy that you're giving a referral to and the guy that's got the problem, okay, now all of a sudden you're looked at with more know, like, and trust. And that's what you're trying to get when you get some more business, is create that atmosphere where you create the relationship.
Good stuff. All right. So when you present and they ghost you, there's some valuable tips on how to stay visible, how to stay in front, and the kind of timing that you need to do so you don't come across as pushy per se, where really what you're doing is pushing them even further away. And good luck getting a hold of them if you just keep trying to bludgeon them over the head with a hammer.
Well, and the thing is that you become across as a pushy salesperson, and you don't want that. You want to be creating the sales without selling.
Got it. All right. Well, sir, thank you once again. Great knowledge, great information. You enjoy your weekend, and I will see you at some point next week.
Cha-ching, baby.
Thanks, sir. Bye-bye.
You have a nice day.
You too.